Hello and thank you for joining us today for this online series. My name is Francesca Campagna, General Director of the Center for Contemporary Opera, and we are pleased to start this year off welcoming you to this sneak peek of Deeply, an opera in one act for 5 cellos. Although we may not be able to present live programming, we believe that music and the arts will have a renaissance. Until then, CCO is committed to provide initiatives online with our beloved artists to you. Deeply explores the struggle of living a life with stereotypes and norms, the endless search of the freedom, and the challenge of finding one place in the world. This work covers a wide range of topics: love and death, gender identity and outing, passion, anguish, and above all, the desire to be ultimately deeply ourselves. To share some insight into this production, I now leave the floor to my colleague Fred Santambrogio, project leader and stage director, Matteo Manzitti, composer, and Matilda Colliard, cellist. Thank you and see you soon.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for the presentation of Deeply, opera for 5 cellos, a soprano and an actress that will be performed at the Center in 2021. We would like to thank Francesca Campagna, the General Director of the Center for Contemporary Opera, and the Center for inviting us to present our show to the New York City public. We are very happy to be hosted by the home of the New York City LGBTQ community, and we can't wait to finally travel and make theater and music again. We are a contemporary opera company, OP64, based in Milan. Our intent is to approach opera with the freedom to choose the topics and the beauty to create music to measure. We love to experiment and to mix genres. And we are trying to let people fall in love with the contemporary music because it's closer and because it's immediate, more immediate than people usually think, and because it's part of our contemporary world. My name is Fred Santambrogio, I'm the stage director. He's Matteo Manzitti, the composer.
Hello, everyone.
And she's Matilda Colliard, one of the cellists. Our librettist is Daniela Moretti, our conductor Pilar Bravo, the costume designer is Michaela Sollecito, the actress Alessandra Faiella, and the singer Laura Catrani. The aim of Deeply is to dig deep into the heart of social structure and gender division in our society. It's been years since I tried to shed some light on why we should make so much effort to exist outside roles, patterns, and stereotypes. I wanted to find a solution through theatre that could allow me the freedom that I couldn't find in everyday life. And I realized that even through theatre or music, this theme wasn't so linear. I went through unspeakable pain and painful stories, but I wanted Deeply to be a source of reflection that could open up new horizon and positive growth. Finally, the structure that we propose seems to me the right one. to pass through painful and deep awareness to arrive at your own personal way, with no judgment, but only the desire to create your own life. The art form that we present does not fit in any other already existing form of visual. It's not classical opera, it's not classical drama theatre. We have an orchestral sound, but not in the wall. And this story unfolds between tragic tales and comic dialogues. As you can see, Matilda is wearing a costume because all the 5 cellists are 5 different characters. They are people who couldn't find the strength or the ability to change the roles. And they thought that the only way out of their situation was through death. As you can see, the costume is incomplete because the costume represents the society. Okay, so the costume in the society as the naked body is the deep essence. All the characters are dead, and they are between death and oblivion. And finally, in death, they can strip off the superstructures and let their essence free. The opera is set in a morgue.
Sei qui? Senti, se è uno scherzo ti avverto che sono molto impressionabile e non va il mio mestiere a darmi coraggio. C'è nessuno? Vabbè. Aspettiamo.
Because I know Matteo, he writes for us many operas. I started to stalk him about the scene number 10 because I wanted a complete breakup scene where the 2 women lose their rational control and let the Dionysian energy free. They go out from the morgue, they go out of the morgue of the hospital, they drink, they dance, they laugh. And I was worried because he is a classical composer and I wanted disco music scene. So I don't know how many times I called you to ask you about this scene.
Few times. Few times, but I always answer you that it's not a problem for a classic composer to write music full of different features and different elements, because always composers gather new ideas from different kind of music. So, as example, we can mention Stravinsky, The Rite of Springs, or a piece I love very much by Thomas Hadley's Extasion, that is based on techno music played by a symphonic orchestra. And so I also quite well know this music because I enjoy to go.
In fact, he told me that he was going in a pub, in a disco pub, just the day before he wrote the music. So I don't know if you told me to relate or not.
Also, the disco music changed in the time. So I just wanted to be informed about how disco music is now. simple, elementary, but very, very powerful. So, Matilda, thank you. Okay, later, in the same piece, I choose another kind of element. I think that you can also listen often in minimal music, especially in Steve Reich's music. There is this kind of rhythm in this melody. So.
One of our biggest concerns was the passage from the speaking and the singing, because the actress speaks to the singer, and the singer answers to the actress singing. So we thought that the public could be disoriented. Contrary-wise, after a few words, you no longer think about who is singing and who is speaking.
So, at first, at the beginning, I was quite worried. It seems a real problem to me to do this passage to the actors, from the actor to the singer. But I remember that there are many examples from the last century in which composers used some techniques in the way to use the voice that are not sound word and not spoken word. So, for instance, if we think about the Spragesang in chamber music, mostly in chamber music, but also in Werk, it's a way to sing and speak at the same time. So I use very often this technique for the soprano, and this is a way to get close the two characters. The second thing I used was the rhythmic notation, always for the soprano. So she speaks, but with a rhythm that I had precisely notated before in the score.
In fact, I remember during rehearsals when the problem that the actress had, because it's completely different the way how the actors and the singer rehearse. And for the actress was very, very hard, because she had to stay exactly in this in the time. Yeah, it was quite difficult, but finally she arrived to it.
Aspetto una telefonata. Pranzi con me dopo? No, devo andare da mia madre. Gabriele, ho sentito il tuo messaggio. Senti, posso spiegarti? Avevo bisogno soffrire così. Non è giusto. Sei confusa, amore? Non chiamarmi così. È difficile anche per me. Ci aspettavo da tempo. Non voglio perderti ora. Osservo, taglio, tocco, ho delle intuizioni. È il mio mestiere, ma non ho soluzioni. Turbati sentimenti. È difficile anche per me rompere gli schemi di una vita. La mia famiglia non è uno schema. Sono persone vive e non le faccio a pezzi. Non basta infilare le mani nei corpi per trovare risposte. Parli di Nicholas? Che vuoi dire? Lo sai. Parli di Nicholas o di noi?
So, I don't want, of course, to spoil you the story, but just to explain something, we introduce the characters. Okay, our main character is Nicholas, and he was a transgender man. He was born in Belgium as a girl. He started his transition, and finally, around 40 years old, he decided to do surgery. But at the end, he couldn't accept himself neither as a man, neither as a woman. And because in Belgium is allowed, he asked for euthanasia. And he died. So when I knew this story, I realized that how is it possible that a human being die because he cannot feel safe in this binary world. Maybe he was fluid, maybe he was in the middle, and that's why we started to work around deeply to give voice to Nicholas.
About Nicholas, I just wanted to find a melody that can represent his soul, his drama, because he's a character who wants to live a life. And he couldn't do it because he's forced, so the society forced him. So I use a melody very strict, with very few intervals, just to give the sense of the prostration. And you can see. How the use of the bow, the cellist playing with a very small fragment of the bow to give this sense of prostration.
And another character is Tisha, exactly Matilda's mom, and she was an actress born in Bangladesh. And she was in love with another actress, and when her family realized it, immediately organized a marriage with a young man. but the day before the marriage, Disha first of all transferred all her money from her bank account to the one of her girlfriend, and then she hanged herself.
So, for the Disha's music is a 12-tone melody. It's not a dodecaphonic melody because it's not precise like the dodecaphonic music. There isn't the main rule. The main rule you can't repeat a note without the others. But I use the 12 notes just to express a descent in the unknown, as Hans Werner Henze says about the 12-note music. So the music is lyric, full of pain, and also full of frequencies, because you hear every note of the chromatic scale. And so I want to express this sense of a deep passage in the inside of the soul of the character.
Another character is Anna, and she was a really young girl, around 16. She came home to tell her parents that she was homosexual. And they locked her up in a mental hospital where she stayed for 5 years, so from 16 to 21.
So the music, the melody I choose for this character is a very strong melody because I believe this is one of the most strong story, most dramatic story. So to express this sense of strongness, I use a technique which transforms the cello in like a electric guitar. So you hear it and you hear an electric guitar.
But these tragic stories are only the beginning, the starting point, to find another way of life, to create a better world where everybody can be themselves and can freely love whoever they want. During rehearsals, many different things emerged. Evidently, the faced topics are part of every one of us. The search of one's own path applies to everyone. regardless of the fact that we specifically decided to analyze the gender identity theme. There are some topics that touch me more than others, but I realized that this play affects to everyone deeply and in different ways. So thank you very much for your attention, and we hope to meet you in presence at the center in 2021. Arrivederci.
Ciao.
A presto.